All right, this is basically just a vocabulary question. I would hope that everyone knows all these words. If you don't, you need to. So, what kind of function is this? Well, it's a line. So hopefully that word is in your head. And then, yes, the word linear comes from the word line. In fact, the word line is in it. So there you go. It's definitely a line. It is not an exponential. And then is it increasing or decreasing? Well, we read graphs basically the way that we read books, right? We read from left to right. So what's happening as you move along this line, as you go from left to right? Well, it's going up. So that is an increasing linear equation, right? If it was decreasing, it would be going down. If it was exponential, it would start to curve, right? So in a case like this, where we're just looking at a graph, the difference between a linear and an exponential equation is really very, very obvious, because what we have is this a straight line is going to be literally just going in the same direction forever, but an exponential is going to curve. And so this would be an increasing exponential. It's going to curve up. A decreasing exponential is going to curve down, but they're going to bend. They're not bending like a parabola bends, but they do not move in the same direction forever. So we don't have either of those things here. The more difficult situation is when we have these kind of, we're given a story, and we're asked which one we have, whether it's a linear story or an exponential story. If we have an equation, it's still not so bad, right? Because exponential, that word contains the clue. Exponential stands for exponent, right? It has to do with exponents. And so if we see an exponent, an x as an exponent in a question, that is an exponential equation. But when it's a story, the key is that usually linear equations are going to have some sort of constant rate. And they may even use that phrase in the story, okay? That's how important of a phrase that is, a constant rate. Or if they just say that like something increases or decreases $2 per year, 3 miles per gallon, right? Like those are constant rates because it happens every amount. It's the same. When exponential is this trickier, but a lot of times we're going to involve the idea of a percentage, right? A percentage change, percent increase, percent decrease. And usually what's happening is that percentage is then being taken every year. So when we first take 10% of something, it's a small number. And so 10% is also small. But as time goes and we increase and we increase, 10% becomes a bigger and bigger amount. So that's why it curves. So there will be other questions where this is harder because of the stories, but on a graph, hopefully you just kind of can tell it's straight, it's curved. That's really all it comes down to.